participants to just go ahead and we're gonna turn off your video, and then we're just gonna be the presenters being visual, okay? So here we go. Thank you. Awesome. Shalom, Eric Levine, welcome. Thank you
Hello.
very much for joining us. And now I'm going to record. We're starting to record this. So welcome to Valley Beth Shalom. This is our Pandemica Hanukkah celebration. It's Monday night, and Eric Levine is our very talented and our very experienced and our friendly and extremely tasty. He is a tasty, tasty man. That would be our caterer at the Valley Beth Shalom LA Kosher Program Community. Thank you. Welcome, Eric Levine. We're so glad to have you with us tonight.
It's great to be here, Rabbi Hoffman.
It's fantastic, and welcome to all our friends. We have a few on Zoom, and some of us are on the Facebook and YouTube experience with us, so welcome as we celebrate what will be the 5th night of Hanukkah. Before we begin, tonight is an extraordinary night in which we are going to decide, after all of the Valley Beth Shalom community has submitted their very creative, their very flavorful, their very innovative renditions of edible menorot, edible Chanukiot, that Eric and I are going to decide which one will be our favorites. Are you ready? Are you ready, Eric, to decide which one would be your favorite tonight?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a few minutes. And first of all, we're going to express gratitude now for all the families. We have 10 great families that submitted amazing photos for us. We're so thrilled to have them present, and we want to just give them thanks. They're the families that have submitted: the Farkas family and the Gorlick family and the Zimmerman family and the Toplinski family and the Pressman family and the Caridi family and the Elkin family and the Gorlick family. I think I got them all. And if I missed any one of the families, well, then you can just type in the chat box that you're here because you want to know which one does Eric think is the favorite. And if you would like to persuade him, I bet that you could put some smiley faces, some hugs, maybe some kisses, blow some kisses to Eric, maybe promise him with dreams of going out to fancy restaurants or maybe like vacations in Cabo San Lucas. Anything is on the table to persuade him to choose yours as the favorite edible Chanukiah for this holiday. Do you think you can handle the pressure, Eric?
Oh, you know, we have some great entries, so it'll be difficult to choose.
It is going to be a challenge today. So why don't we get right into it? We've got an amazing array of edible Chanukiot. I'm going to be sharing my screen here. And let's see, here it is. Nope, that's not the one. There we go. Give me just a second. Get the right one. Hold on just a moment. I had it so perfect. Where did it go? Hold on just a second, folks. How fun is technology? Like, who wouldn't love to have all this technology? There we go. And here comes the sharing. Is everybody seeing this now? Eric, are you seeing it?
I'm seeing it.
Fantastic. So let's go all the way back to the beginning.
I was going to say, I think you're in the middle. There we go.
Okay, very good. Eric, welcome. Why don't you tell us, what do you think about these amazing Chanukiot? You're the expert. If you were voting on Menorah Masters, what would you say?
Well, the first thing is I love the use of the marshmallows to provide contrast to those chocolate wafers. And come on, look at those master bakers right there. They are fantastic. And you know what? I think those are very hot flaming candles with hot tamales at the top there. So,
you know, I really like this this creation. I think that the wafers are authentic. They're Israeli. I think that the marshmallows are totally kosher. I can tell that they're totally kosher. And I will tell you that the hot tamales add the perfect amount of sweetness, because Hanukkah is all about sweetness. How did that come to be? Well, it's clear that when we come to celebrate such an important holiday as Hanukkah, in which we're celebrating the freedom of our people to celebrate our religion in the world, the rights to protect those who are vulnerable around us, and also to celebrate life, joyfully. These are things that we do all with sweetness. And so this is an excellent example of what that is. I wonder how long it lasted in their home. Any ideas?
Well, I want to know how long those hot tamales lasted in their rollers. That's what
In their mouth. I'll tell you, with the smiles on those faces, probably not very long.
Probably
Let's go to our next one. Ooh, please. What do you think, Eric?
Okay, so this one is one of our first challah entries. And what it looks like to me is they used just a few very long strands to be able to braid not just the base, but have that base go all the way up into the branches as well as the post. So extremely talented to be able to have it go from one shape to the next. I want to know is how long of a counter they have in order to have such long strands. And lastly, having those orange sprinkles, or some people call them jimmies up at top to designate the flames, classic. I really like that.
I really like this one too. I'll tell you what I liked about the flames. Hanukkah is about kindling light in the darkest time of the year. And sometimes when we're busy building a Hanukkah with challah, we don't take the time to make sure that the decoration of the flames is visible. And here it is so important that this challah would not be complete without those jimmies, as you call them, those flames kindling the light. They're not only lighting up the kitchen and lighting up the warmth of the family, but they're lighting up all of our lives and making Hanukkah so sweet. That was a great entry. Let's see what's up next. I don't know. Have you chosen your favorite yet already?
Well, between the first two, I'll keep it to myself for now.
Well, I think that the competition's getting tough. Take a look at these. Look at these.
Okay, first of all, look at these chefs right here. Look at these bakers. Let's forget the challah for a second. Look at these two. They're so proud of what they created. Now, these two bakers took a different route. Instead of having braided the whole thing, they actually made challah rolls and put the challah rolls together. But you can tell that they're still connected, which is amazing. And can I say that that is one of the most perfect braided Magen David chalot that I've ever seen.
Agreed.
That is
Agreed.
extremely talented.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it is held by a chef master who's wearing some Lilo and Stitch slippers, in case you didn't see those. And I think that every step that he makes him want to gobble up each and every one of those corners. And if you notice, there's chocolate chips nestled in between each of the sort of corners of the star. I think that that was like a nice touch. Definitely a nice touch. Clearly a masterful creation. We've got some very expert challah makers here. This is what people have been doing in the pandemic. Right? What else are you going to do?
Challah, yes.
Learning how to make great challah indeed. Look at this family. This is a wonderful entry. The Kelman family, please.
Okay, now this is a sweet one. Now, here's the thing. They must have known the perfect amount of time to keep their dough chill, because when you make cutout cookies, if the dough's not chill enough, you won't get the detail. If you look at the bottom of the menorah, you can actually see at the top where the candles are supposed to be through the cookie cutout. And that's because these people knew exactly how long to keep their dough chilled.
It is absolutely an expert cookie making. I think those chocolate kisses are very, very appealing. I'm wondering what to do with those. And definitely we should think about that.
I'm wondering how long mom and dad it took them to sneak one away. That's what because mom and dad absolutely snuck one of these cookies when the kids weren't looking.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm trying to go through the camera and sneak one of the cookies myself. They look so good. All right, well, that was a great entry. Let's see who's next.
Okay, now this one is definitely colorful. I know it's a little blurry for most people. The picture was a little blurry for us, but what it looks like to me is they used blue colored sugar, sanding sugar, to coat the outside of the challah. And what I love about this is that it definitely, while the base looks so perfectly proportioned to the size of the branches up at the top, you need that big, heavy challah braid at the bottom to support such a magnificent Chanukiah. The only concern I would have is is the base cooked enough? And if so, is the branches going to be crispy? But that's the beauty of it, because in every family, you have people who love the soft middle and love that crispy outside. So this actually gives you the best of both worlds.
I am so amazed by this challah for the same thing that you've said. It is a big challah. That's part of the distortion. Like, I wonder how really big it is. We don't have the perspective, but the idea behind Hanukkah is that we're supposed to make the miracle public. And the more that we make it public and the grander it is out in the world, the more that this great message of religious freedom and tolerance for all identities is possible. And I just love blue. Like, why did they choose blue? How did blue become a Jewish color? And you know, blue is actually a Jewish color because we're told that the thing that we're supposed to wrap ourselves in when we pray is a talit, and on the corners of the talit is a fringe of blue, a very, very special fringe of blue. You can actually only find it in reality in a special snail that is existent in the Mediterranean Sea. It's a special kind of mollusk. And that thread of blue was actually lost to history for thousands of years, but they've rediscovered the mollusk. They've figured out how to extract the thread of blue, and they make talitot with that thread of blue that the Torah taught us about for thousands of years. I doubt that they're using that blue color on that sanding sugar, but I will, when I eat it, know that I am connected to thousands of years of wonderful tradition that has been made public through this gigantic challah. Thank you for submitting this challah. Now, let's see who's next. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. That is really creative. What do you think about that, Eric? It looks like two challah put together.
This is massive. This is a massive, but it's also very classic looking. The way the branches are put together, it's a very classic looking Hanukkah. Now, what has baffled me, this one takes the prize for stumping me. I can't quite tell what they used for the flames. I don't think it's poppy seed, but it doesn't look like cinnamon either. Maybe it's za'atar. Maybe it's some other savory herb, but also what I can tell is they used a honey egg wash on this, because you can tell the glaze has a sweetness to it, which works perfectly with some herb up at the top.
Ooh, that's a really interesting combination. And also you could tell in the middle that there's probably something swirled right in the middle in between too. I think we have to like taste test this. I don't think we could determine whether or not this would be our favorite. It might have stumped us for what's actually contained in it, but I don't think that we really know if it was a good thing for us to choose as our favorite until we tasted it.
Exactly. I think that would be a requirement.
I think that whatever spice that they chose up top, whether it's a za'atar or a sesame or a poppy seed or something like that, it definitely reflects the flames that are illuminating homes as they celebrate Hanukkah. And I just last comment, like, look at how close the branches are together. That is not an easy feat. Usually you think it's actually easier to spread it apart, but like putting them together and making sure that each one is distinct, that is some real skill there.
Exactly.
Very nice. All right, let's see who's next. Oh, wow, look at this one.
Okay, I have to say, this one is one of my favorites. It is in that top 4 or 5, because this one is, if you think about it, it's not so simple. It looks simple, but it's not so simple, because we had to find fruit that were symmetrical in size, yet the lime, which is slightly bigger, to act as the shamash. And then the question of the symmetry of the stickers, that they're perfectly symmetrical on both sides. And then the choice of the background tablecloth, that dark, deep blue, really makes all the colors in this pop.
I think it is absolutely a piece of art. You've got it right, Eric. It is artistic. It is creative. It's so artistic. Look at all the stickers. They're all expertly placed separate from each other, right? And you had to find just the right size lime to go there. And look, I'm not going to get political here, but like, don't forget the stickers in the background of restoring voting rights and going to Mammoth for outdoor activity. This is a submission that is as close to nature as you possibly can get it. And I think that those stickers are there out of necessity. They just remind us that even, we have to get some of our fruit from the store, and a sticker will help us remember where it came from. But to turn this into an object of art, a way of celebrating Jewish life, that to me is as sweet and delicious as the juice that's contained within the fruit. Congratulations to the Elkin family for your symmetrical submission of the fruity Chanukiah. Now, this is a series of these are from one family. These next two slides are from one family. 4 unique submissions from one family. I wonder what they do in their spare time. They're so creative.
Okay, so let's start with the one on the left. Now, this one isn't quite challah, but it is some sort of dough, and it's a sweet dough. What I love about this is that they use multiple flavor profiles, because you can definitely see the cinnamon on some of them, but then also using the sweet streusel to give it contrast and to give it texture. This was not an easy feat, because again, they are not individual little balls. They are baked all together. My only question is where is the cream cheese frosting on the side to go with this sweet entry?
Oh man, or how about some chocolate dipping sauce, or some caramel, or some whipped cream, right?
Exactly. This is a dessert euphoria.
How about we set it on fire, flambe? Can you do that? Can you do that with this kind of thing? Is it flammable?
It is, but then it becomes an adult-friendly.
Oh, I see.
Dessert, not so much a kid-friendly dessert.
Well, let's keep it friendly, because that's so good, and especially as we go to have something healthy. Because after imbibing in that incredibly creative Chanukiah, we needed something to make sure that we got all of our vitamins and minerals.
Exactly. That's the next entry on the right. It's it definitely wins to be the healthiest Chanukiah in the bunch. Okay, so between the jicama and the multicolored carrots, the multicolored peppers, and then I don't know if you noticed, but we have 2 different types of background. You have a celery and a Persian cucumber. Those aren't regular cucumbers; those are Persian cucumbers. So we definitely know that we like those smaller ones because they contain less water in them than in the big ones. So you get a better crunch, just like you do with the celery. So again, this one definitely wins for the healthiest Chanukiah submission.
Yeah, I think if I was going for like a healthy meal, this would be my favorite. But I somehow think that Hanukkah is not about healthy food at all. Like it just seems like it's all about oil, and it's all about dairy products that are like fat and heavy. It's all about sweet stuff. So this stuff is healthy. It's like I'm being tricked. And
but you don't know what's on the side.
Nothing to say this isn't awesome. I'm being tricked into eating something healthy by something that looks so great.
Yes, but Rabbi, what we don't see, and I'm going to make an assumption here, is that on the side, which we can't see off camera, is the spinach artichoke cheese dip that all of these vegetables are being dipped into, or very good hummus with a great olive oil. So again, we don't see it on camera, but let's just make that assumption in that.
I'm ready to jump in. All right, what do we got here?
Okay, so on the left, it looks like we have a Magen David out of donut holes. But here's my biggest question on this one. Who stole that third donut hole up at the top for that point? You can see at the bottom, there's 3 at the bottom to make that point. Someone took the one up at the top and didn't think we would notice. So but it's a great entry for a great edible Magen David.
That is wonderful. I can't wait to also, I think that needs to be dipped in some chocolate sauce or some caramel to make it complete.
Or if we want it more traditional, we can make a fantastic raspberry compote.
Ooh, that sounds good. With some powdered sugar, you got it.
Okay, now the winner for the savory Hanukkah is on the right. We have a magnificent sushi display. Everything from looks like spicy tuna to a kosher California roll, a cucumber avocado roll, and then up at the top, if you can't tell, that is salmon sashimi with pickled ginger on top.
Wow.
So, and I love the background, the blue and white tablecloth. My concern is once you get that soy sauce out there, gotta be careful of that tablecloth.
I know, it looks so nice, right? All of a sudden that tablecloth, and look up there, you see the Hanukkah candle lit. It's beautiful. Like these are things that need to be submitted into a magazine. I think, how come Jews love sushi so much? We know about Jews and Chinese food, but Jews and sushi, like, where did that come from? So I'm pretty sure that it has nothing to do with history. It has everything to do with the grand story of how we came to freedom. So when we crossed the Red Sea, we know that there were the fish that were along the sides, and they were urging us along. And their gift to the Israelites, who were so concerned about leaving the comforts of slavery in Egypt and going into the great unknown and uncertainty of a future filled with freedom, that they knew that the gift would be for them sushi. Really, like they were willing to give on themselves and to share the very best of what they created. And look at that, there's California roll sushi, and there's it looks like spicy tuna sushi. All of these people, and as you said, salmon sashimi sushi, all the way up there. These were the fish that were swimming along with the Israelites at the Red Sea. And when the Israelites got onto the other side and tasted freedom, there was this gigantic plate of sushi waiting for them. And since then, at every bar mitzvah and every wedding and every community event, plates of sushi are passed. Eric, isn't that right? Like, how many times do you have to make sure that sushi is on the table?
A lot. It is a definite big ask for us.
Would you say it's like 100%? Would you say it's 90%? Would you say it's like 85%?
I think you're between 85 and 90% of all of our
90%. And the only ones who don't like it are the ones that don't like raw fish. Which,
exactly.
you know, maybe they're respectful of not having raw fish, but every other Jew loves it. All right, here we go.
And I think we're at our final. There we go.
We are at our final.
This is our final entry. Now, this one is definitely interesting because it's difficult to point out, and I had to zoom in because I couldn't tell if that yellow was specks from her sweater or what that was. But after zooming in and examining it, it looks like they let their egg wash extend out onto onto the baking sheet. And then when it was finished baking, they were able to pull it up so that way they had a natural egg wash as their flame. Now that is some talent right there to even think of that.
I got to tell you,
I wouldn't have thought of that.
This challah is also, of all the entries, is the one that stands up, right? It's upright challah. And for that, I think it deserves to get an award for being the most upright challah, right? And look at the smile. Look at the smile on their faces. They've created a masterpiece. Like, obviously, they're very happy with their masterpiece creation here.
Yeah, and again, one of the other things I really like about this one is that it's an untraditional shape in terms of the base. If you look at the base, it is not a braided challah. It is actually a very elongated base in order to support those branches going up.
Something tells me this challah is very healthy to eat too.
Absolutely.
That's good. All right, Eric. So tell me, with all of these pictures that you have you figured out which one is your favorite?
Oh, well, I will say yes. I think I do have a favorite, and it's only because of my own personal preference at this time of year. Is I do love a very sweet challah for Hanukkah. So my favorite is I guess we can call the Cinnabon Hanukkah with the individual balls with the cinnamon with also the streusel. So that is a very sweet, it looks very edible. And I would love to be able to sample that one.
That is fantastic. All right. Well, I think that's something to eat. I think this is so hard to choose. Who says that any one of this favorite? Each and every one of these is fantastic and worthy of recognition. We want to say thanks to all of our families that really submitted these chalot and submitted these creative Hanukkiyot. And we hope that you are enjoying the Hanukkah holiday with your creations and with the many ways that we have used our creativity to celebrate, illuminate the holiday. I would have to say, I mean, it's tough, right? Like, because I think because there's like savory and sweet, I'm going to have to go for the savory. I think the sushi one is just like fantastic. And I love sushi, and I haven't had sushi in so long, and I'm really hungry, and I guess I want to eat that right now. But as far as like a sweet dessert one, I got to hand it to like the sugar cookie. I think that the sugar cookie was really great and just so creative. And then finally, I think that Gorlick Boys, that's the one with the Magen David challah. And I think that Magen David challah really does kind of like qualify as a very, very quality, created, thoughtful presentation of challah and a great way to celebrate holidays. So all of these are good and all of these win, but I wanted to say, like, if I had a chance to eat any of these right in front of me right now, I'd probably start with those guys.
I agree. The Magen David is the all-star for me for all these submissions.
Wonderful. So thank you all for participating. Maybe why don't you put in the chat box which one was your favorite? And as we do that, we want to welcome you all into our community celebration of Hanukkah. And so we've got our menorah, our Chanukiah behind us. And tonight we're going to be celebrating the 5th night of Hanukkah. So please, wherever you are, if you have your own Chanukiah, join us as we light the menorah and sing our blessings for the candles and sing a little bit of the great songs that come with the Hanukkah holiday. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim Haem Bazman Hazeh Ma'otzur Yeshuati Lechana Eleshabeach Tikom Beitefilati Vesham Toda Nizabeach Lietachim Natbeach Mitzor HaMatbeach Az Egmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukah HaMizbeach Az Egmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukah HaMizbeach Hanerot halalu anu madlikim Hanerot halalu anu madlikim Al hanisim ve'al niflaot ve'al hateshuvot ve'al hamilchamot she'asita la'avotenu she'asita le'imotenu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. I have a little dreidel. I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. I have a little dreidel. I made it out of, what did we make it out of, Eric?
Challah.
Challah, and when it's dry and ready, it spins around a lot. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of challah, and when it spins around a lot. I had a little dreidel. Okay, Amy, are you still with us?
Yes.
All right. I had a little dreidel. I made it out of?
Potatoes.
Potatoes. And when it's dry and ready, oh my God, you picked the hardest one. It smelled like a tomato. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of potatoes, and when it's dry and ready, it smelled a little bit like a tomato. Charnel family, are you with us? Can you share? They're in, they're out, they're not. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Eric Levine, our master director of LA Kosher. What is your official title?
Director of Catering.
Director of Catering at LA Kosher, Valley Beth Shalom. Thank you for your expert commentary. Thank you to all our submissions. Thank you to the Valley Beth Shalom community for celebrating with us. Happy Hanukkah. Please tune in tomorrow. We're going to be having a very special bingo night sponsored by the youth department. Come participate. You have a fundraiser who will help support the youth department, and it's a great way to celebrate the Hanukkah holiday with bingo. Who would have thunk it? So come and join us for that and all the other great things that we have at Valley Beth Shalom. Take care, everyone. Nice to see you.
Nice seeing you.